understanding pain, when to push through and when to stop. For many of us in midlife, managing the ongoing niggles and pain that comes from past injuries or years of wear and tear is a familiar challenge. Pain can create hesitation, often rooted in the fear of reinjury. It's natural to worry about losing progress, feeling less capable, or being set back even further. But there's another key factor at play, and that is our ego. The drive to push ourselves to lift heavier, to compete against our younger selves, or the guy next to us, can sometimes take over. Now, I'm not saying that we don't want to push ourselves in the gym, but if we ignore technique and form, or our body's limits, we risk further pain and injury. The real question is, how do we know when to push through and when to hold back? In an earlier presentation, I spoke about load versus capacity and how training too much, overtraining, leads to burnout and injury. So the first thing we need to consider is load versus capacity and making sure we're following a sustainable training program. Even then, we might still experience pain. So what do we do? It starts with understanding the type of pain and learning to respond smartly, free from our ego. So here are 4 key terms to guide you in making the best decision for your long-term health and progress. The first word is insult. This is your body's response to an external stimulus. Right now, you can feel your clothes against your skin, but it's just background noise. In training, insult often shows up as a subtle sensation, a small muscle tension here or there, but nothing disruptive. Insult doesn't call for reaction. The takeaway from this is insult is background noise. Recognize it, but don't dwell on it. The second word is irritation. Now, irritation is when a stimulus becomes noticeable. You feel a slight discomfort. Maybe your form is off or you feel familiar tightness. It's important to note that some irritation is necessary for growth. Pushing to the edge of comfort is where adaptation happens. The best way to build muscle and to increase strength is to push close to failure. But ego often enters here, encouraging us to go heavier or to push a little bit further. The takeaway from this is irritation is when growth happens, but respect the limits. Don't let ego push you over the edge. The third word is pain. Now, pain goes beyond physical discomfort. It's emotional too, often accompanied by fear or uncertainty. For many of us in midlife, pain can sometimes feel like the body's way of saying, you can't do this anymore. However, that is rarely the case. Often, it's the fear of the unknown. It's important to distinguish pain from the discomfort that signals adaptation. The takeaway here is don't let fear of pain keep you from progress, but know when it's a warning sign. Listen carefully to what your body is telling you. Listen to the whispers before you hear the screams. The fourth word is injury. Now, injury is when the body says stop. It's no longer a question of discomfort. Pushing through is no longer an option. When you're injured, adjustments are needed, not only to recover, but for maintaining confidence and motivation. Midlife injuries do not define you. Rather than thinking, I have a bad knee or I have a broken shoulder, shift to the mindset that my knee isn't handling this movement right now, or my shoulder isn't capable of this right now. Takeaway from this is that injury means adapt and adjust. Focus on healing while staying engaged in what you can do. Now that we have the terms insult, irritation, pain, and injury defined, we have a better understanding of how to label our pain levels. But how do we train pain-free? Here are 4 rules for training pain-free. To keep progressing without compromising health, follow these guidelines. Number 1, irritation should never exceed a 5 out of 10. Some discomfort is fine, but if you're hitting a 6 or a 7, it's time to back off. Longevity is built by staying smart and avoiding setbacks. Number 2, irritation should stay the same or reduce during the set. If discomfort increases during reps, adjust your approach. Lower the weight, change your form, or modify the range of motion. Don't let pride lead to unnecessary pain. Number 3, irritation should stop when you stop moving. Discomfort should end with the set. If it lingers, something needs to change, whether it's adding more rest or modifying the exercise. Number 4, irritation should subside within 48 hours. Soreness is normal, but lingering pain isn't. If discomfort remains, reassess your training program. As I said before, pain does not define you, and we shouldn't allow pain to stop us from training. To prevent pain, we need to pay attention to the levels of irritation and learn to adjust the training to prevent injury and stay healthy. Here are some final thoughts. In midlife, smart training is essential. Ego might tell us to push, but real strength is in knowing when to stop. It's not about lifting more weight. It's about protecting your body for the long haul. Train hard, but train smart. Recognize when to push forward and when to pull back.